everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. I hinted a bit about this vlog in my last one, but essentially I want to make this vlog a reading vlog. I have never done those before, and I don't really know what I'm doing and whether or not it's going to be like all reading, a bit of life. I kind of have to figure it out, but I am so excited because, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, I am going to be reading, or try to read, the Fourth Wing series. I bought this book forever ago. It's literally been forever ago, and I did actually start it. I think I got to chapter maybe 5 or 6, and then I stopped reading it. The main reason being is because I really wanted to get the Kindle version of this. I realized that I don't really like reading physical books anymore now that I do have my Kindle. However, since I put it on my Kindle TBR, it's never gone on sale. So I was like, you know what? I do own a copy. I'm just going to read it, and I'm going to try and read it all today. I don't know if that's super ambitious. I'm not the fastest reader. I wouldn't say I'm slow either. I'm kind of average maybe, but for an average reader, this is a pretty sizable book. And actually I find the font quite small, but that could just be a personal preference. I just checked. So there are 498 pages in this book. I have actually just spent the morning and I read the first couple of chapters to kind of get myself started. And I am gonna reread everything that I read before because I remember it, but I just kind of want to read the whole thing in its entirety. So yeah, the goal is to read Fourth Wing at least today. We'll see how far I actually get because I do have some life things that I also have to take care of, a little bit of work. I do want to work on a short to go up on my channel. I realized that, you know, the vlogs, like the editing of these vlogs have been a little bit slower for me, and so if I can put up a short kind of in between to satisfy you all while I am still working on editing, then I'm gonna do that. I keep hearing people in the book community refer to themselves as like mood readers. Essentially, like sometimes you want to read a physical book, sometimes you want to read on the Kindle, sometimes you want to listen to the audiobook, which I do love as well. And I'm kind of a mood vlogger, I would say. I kind of do things based on what I am watching at the time. So sometimes I want to do financial videos because that's what I'm really into. I'm like watching a ton of financial stuff. Sometimes I just want to do that basic vlog, you know, running around doing errands, that kind of thing. And sometimes I want to do reading vlogs because that's what I'm really into right now. I'm really into watching TBRs. I'm really into watching people decorating their bookshelves. I'm really into those limited edition sets of beautiful books that you can get. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I've actually ordered a set and I can't wait for that to come. We will unbox it together for sure. But yeah, it was so funny at work. Someone asked me like, what are you doing this weekend? And then I was like, I have a date with my Kindle. And no, I'm not starting obviously with the Kindle, but you get the point. And she was like, oh my God, that's amazing. That would be like my dream weekend. And honestly, it is a bit of my dream weekend. I kind of need like a chill, relaxed weekend. It is beautiful outside though. And I'm honestly a little disappointed because I would have loved like a totally wintry day or a gray day. That would be the perfect day to kind of just be in here and read the whole day. So I may at some point have to take Bennett out for a walk, though it was really cold this morning. Yeah, it's still -9 and it is extremely windy. Like I went outside and I had tears streaming down my face. You know when like cold air hits your eyes and you're outside and you just start crying and you have no idea that it's happening? I just started feeling like water dripping down. I went, oh my God, I'm crying. And then you guys, I did buy Iron Flame and Onyx Storm for the Kindle. Oh, and actually while we're here, I did finish Quicksilver. I actually finished Quicksilver last night. So just a quick review because I have talked a bit about this book in a couple of vlogs, just like piecemeal, just sort of like how I was liking it at the time. I am going to give this book a 3.5 out of 5. I will say that I think the last part of the book did redeem it a little bit in many ways, which is why I did keep reading. I was like, there must be something about this book that people love. I've realized that I'm a girl that doesn't like a lot of spice, and this book was quite spicy. And just coming off the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, that was almost YA in terms of how it was presented and sort of the tension and the very, very slow burn. I didn't as much enjoy the kind of like fast-paced romance of this one. And almost, okay, it's not that I'm against an enemies to lovers, but this guy was mean. I don't know why I prefer the guys that are like not described as super muscular. I like the guys that are funny, have like a sense of humor, like Carrie and Swift in this book. That's the guy I would have been attracted to. And I personally hate it when the male characters are so mean and rude and you're supposed to love them, and then suddenly they're nice, suddenly they're sweet, and they're like, oh, I love you and everything's okay. Maybe it's my personal trauma, but I do not love that in a book, and so those parts of the book I did not like. However, the world building and the side characters were all really great, and the actual ending was really gripping. Like I couldn't put it down, and I whipped through the last section of this book, which is why I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think that's generous because it was not my favorite. Anyway, so I did purchase the other two 2 books in the Fourth Wing series on here, and so once I'm finished with the physical book, then I can move right away over to my Kindle books. It is 10:45 right now. I think I'm gonna read for the next hour and 15 minutes until noon, and then I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna do my short, and then I'm gonna jump back into reading, and I'll kind of update you guys as to where I am in the reading process at that point in time. I have been waiting so long to read this series, and I've been trying so hard not to see any spoilers, look into any spoilers. The YouTubers that I normally watch have been reading, like for example, Onyx Storm recently, and literally I have to like jump ahead because I'm like, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know a thing. So I will also try not to give too many spoilers or any spoilers if any of you out there have not read the books yet. And if you don't know about Fourth Wing, because a couple of my colleagues didn't know anything about Fourth Wing, look it up. It's only like one of the most popular series of the last couple of years. Or when did this come out? It feels like it was yesterday, but yeah, this says 2023, so the last couple of years. Okay, let's get to reading because I have a lot to read today. Almost 1:30 and I'm so proud of myself. Normally this is when I'm starting vlogs and I feel like I've done so much already. Like it's a reading vlog, yet it's a productive vlog and I am more than thrilled about it. So bit of an update, I just finished chapter 5, so I'm about to jump into chapter 6. So I'm on page 70 right now. I don't think that's too bad. That's about 40 pages in an hour. Maybe that's slow. I don't even know. Maybe I should look that up. Reading speeds by pages an hour. While a slow reader will only get through 30 pages an hour, the average person can read around 40 pages an hour. It's proof. It says it right there. I said I was an average reader and Google is also telling me that I'm an average reader. I haven't passed the part that I read up to yet. I don't know where that is. Like I said, I guesstimated chapter 6. So it could be this chapter. I have a feeling it might be chapter 7, just kind of based on where we are in the book. I'm happy though that I'm rereading it because like I said, a lot of the details I didn't remember. And actually I jinxed it. It is now a full-on snowstorm outside. So it is 1:30 now. I think I'm gonna read until 3 and then I will gauge what the weather is like outside so that I can potentially take Bennett out before all the light is gone for the end of the day. But you guys, it's so good. I'm loving this book so far. It reminds me a lot of Divergent, at least the beginning of it, like with the different factions and how Triss, her family was Abnegation, I think, and then she picked Dauntless. Like she was in the kind one, the calm one, and then she picked the fearless one, the dangerous one, and it kind of feels a bit like this. Anyone who's read Fourth Wing, let me know. Do you see similarities, at least at the beginning? Obviously, there's no dragons or anything in Divergent, but you get the point. All right, continue reading, we go. Chapter 10. Here you go. So that is page 115. It's not too bad for me. I'm pretty impressed with myself, and actually I still have not passed the section that I read previously. So I actually read way more than I thought I had. And it's sad because the only reason I know that is because one of the characters dies and they haven't died yet. So that's how I know I haven't passed that mark yet. I'm also using this sticker that my friend gave me as my little bookmark. It says, "Good things are coming." And I think that's really appropriate for today because while I am reading, I'm also sort of mentally resetting. It's been a really stressful and busy last couple months, and so that is why this weekend is so important to me because it's my rest and relaxation time. But anyway, Bennett has been asking me to go out, so I think I'm gonna take him out. It's pretty cold still, actually. It's like still -8 outside and it's extremely windy. Say hi to the vlog. I always know when he needs to really go outside because he goes to the balcony door. When he was a puppy, I used to order, it was called Pooch Patch. It was basically like a patch of grass that they would send you in the mail every month because I got him in the middle of winter and I wanted him to be used to grass, and just it was easier because he peed so much as a puppy. So the patch of grass used to be out on the balcony and I would take him out there. So whenever he needs to go outside, he goes to the balcony door, and it's so cute because it's like from his puppy days. So I am going to take him out and then come back, maybe make another cup of tea, and then get back to reading. You wanna go for a walk, baby? You wanna go outside? Let's go. literally by myself. It must be too icy. Welcome to Sunday. Please don't mind my hair. I did a workout and I washed it, and so we're air drying right now. It is almost 4:30, so it's actually near the end of the day. I have been super slow today. It's been kind of weird because yesterday I woke up with a cough, like a dry cough, the kind of cough that you get when you're sick, but I had no other symptoms, nothing. And so I was like, okay, this is weird, but whatever. And I was coughing so much yesterday that I literally woke up with sore abs this morning. But it was interesting. Around the end of the day, like 7 o'clock-ish, I called my dad and I was talking with him, and I was wandering around my apartment as I was talking to him, and I started to feel achy. You know, that achy feeling all in your bones when you're sick? So I started getting that feeling, and that essentially just made me have like a really cozy, chill evening here. I had a bath with Epsom salts. I climbed into bed. I was just reading my book, and this morning I've woken up and the cough is still there and I still feel super achy. I realized I forgot to put on some lip gloss. My lips have been so dry lately with the cold. So anyway, I've just not really been feeling good today, and I've been taking it extra slow. I did a ton of reading this morning, but it's also weird. Like, I've made a cup of tea. This is my 3rd cup of tea today, and typically when I'm sick, I'm adverse to anything milk related, including tea. Like, I cannot even look at it. I can't think about it, but I'm still okay with it. It's so weird. I don't know what's happening to me. But to talk about the most important part, I am this far. So I've read all this portion. I am this far in my book. I am on page 323 and I'm on chapter 26. So we are definitely getting there. We're more than halfway. I thought I would be able to read this all yesterday, and that was very ambitious of me, as are most of my ideas. And this is a pretty decent sized book. But you guys, I am loving it. I love it so much. It's definitely my type of book. I've actually come to realize, I realized something. I was thinking about this last night. I don't think I like books set in Fae realms. I really, really don't. The whole like Fae thing, I don't think is for me, which is probably why I like this so much and why I didn't like Quicksilver. I like these more fantasy or dystopian societies that have nothing to do with the Fae. You know, like Fourth Wing, like Divergent, like The Hunger Games, like Zodiac Academy, like Six of Crows, like the Grishaverse. Like, I love all that kind of feel for a book, or the setting, I should say. And I didn't like things like Quicksilver or A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I know is a lot of people's favorite, but I tried the first book and I thought, okay, I don't really get the hype. And then I read the second book and I still really didn't get the hype, so I didn't continue the series. I don't know, maybe someday I'll give it a second chance, but I personally, at the time at least, wasn't too enamored with it. So that seems to be a common thread. When I think back to books that I have read both in the past and recently, whenever there's been a Fae realm involved, I haven't liked it. So I guess that's just not my favorite occult. Dragons, however, I am obsessed. And the characters in this are so good. You know how I was talking about how in Quicksilver, Kingfisher was really mean? Like, he was just like a mean guy. I didn't like him. Okay, Xaden, I think that's how you say his name. Anyway, that's the way I'm saying it in my brain. Xaden is like tough, but I don't see him as mean. He's got almost like Big Brother vibes. Like, he'll give you tough love, but he cares about you. And I love that. And it shows. The way that he cares about people shows. Whilst with Kingfisher, you really didn't feel that. It felt like he hated everybody. And that I just don't really like. Oh, it's so good. I can already tell this is a 5-star read. I can already tell, and I'm not even done. But yeah, it is exactly 4:30 now. So I think I'm going to sit on the couch and read for the next, or at least another chapter. And then I'm going to try and take Bennett out for a little bit of a walk. It's really cold outside still, and it's pretty slippery because everything's turned to ice. But obviously, I'm still a dog owner. Obviously, I still have responsibilities to my little guy. He's just lying over there. He's staring at me. I do got to take him out, but I want to keep on going with the reading, and I do think I'm going to finish this today. I am pretty sure, and I'm even thinking that I might be able to start Iron Flame later tonight. So just going to keep on reading. Okay, so we are nearly 2 weeks later since I started this whole challenge of reading the whole Fourth Wing series. And I literally just finished Onyx Storm like 5 minutes ago. So my brain is still kind of reeling from the ending. I don't really know what to think about that ending. I'm a touch confused, but it's okay. But before I dive into the review of all 3 of those books, I actually received a package today and it's book themed. So I figured that I would look at the items with you guys. I did unbox it. I unboxed it for a short, but oh my gosh, the items are so nice. So I can't help but show you guys. So as a lot of you probably know by now, I am on a journey to get books for my bookshelf that I consider to be 5 stars, whether or not they are a single book, whether or not it's a series. I just want to fill my bookshelves with books that I personally love. And one series that I am obsessed with is the Six of Crows series by Leigh Bardugo. She also wrote the Shadow and Bone series, which they made into a Netflix show, but I wasn't as big of a fan of the Shadow and Bone series as I was with Six of Crows. They're both under the Grishaverse universe, I guess, so they're like in the same realm. So I really wanted to get that duology for my bookshelf, but the only thing is, and I've talked about this before, but the cover of Six of Crows features the color red. Now I don't like the color red. It's just something with me personally. I just don't like it anywhere. I just don't want it on display. And I was doing some research online because a lot of these fantasy books or the series that are really popular get turned into limited edition sets on various different websites. Like the ones that come to mind are LitJoy, Fairy Loot, Owlcrate, and I came across the version from Owlcrate and I fell instantly in love. It's a beautiful set. The only problem is though is that it was completely sold out. And on the secondary market, like eBay, it was about $900 to buy the set Canadian when originally each book was like 30 bucks. But I looked on their website and they did still have the listing up and it said like sign up with your email to be potentially notified if we get extra stock, or not extra stock, but like leftover stock. And I thought, what the heck? I'll put my email down like just in case. And literally, I think it was 3 days later, 3 or 4 days later, I get an email from Owlcrate saying, we have released our extra stock. And in that 15-20 minutes that it took my brain to actually process this email, the duology on its own sold out, which initially I was really bummed about because I really just wanted the books. But then I did see that they had the books plus goodies because they often do like, you know, they'll sell like just the books and then they'll sell the books along with additional merchandise. So they did still have those and I wanted these books so much that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy the whole thing. I'm gonna buy the whole set. And it arrived today and the books are just as beautiful as I ever could have imagined that they would be. So it came with this slip just showing the 2 books that you get. It came with this really cute Cooperom waffles candle and it smells so good. It's super sweet. It smells like a Bath and Body Works candle, but it smells like yummy. It also came with a package of coffee. Now I am not a coffee drinker. My mom does drink coffee and maybe she'd like this. And this has to be my favorite piece of merchandise. This is the Ketterdam mug. Isn't that adorable? It comes with a little spoon. Ketterdam Coffee Company, and on the top it says best brew in the barrel. And then on the back it says proper fuel for proper thieves. And then of course the books themselves. Here is Six of Crows. Is that not stunning? This dust jacket is so pretty. You can see the spine right there. And then also the sprayed edges. It's just absolutely gorgeous. On the back it says no mourners, no funerals. And then of course here is Crooked Kingdom, super gorgeous as well. There's the spine. And then the back says we never stop fighting. Oh, and then the sprayed edges, of course. Super pretty. So I can't wait to put these both on my bookshelf. All right, let's get to Fourth Wing. I have a lot of thoughts. I realized at the top of this video, I didn't actually read a synopsis of Fourth Wing, and the number of people I've talked to who have never heard of Fourth Wing before is actually insane. So I'm just gonna quickly read the synopsis here on Goodreads. Enter the brutal and elite world of a war college for dragon riders. 20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her tough-as-Talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. They incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. She'll need every edge her wits can give her just to see the next sunrise. Yet, with every day that passes, the war outside grows more deadly. The kingdom's protective wards are failing, and the death toll continues to rise. Even worse, Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Friends, enemies, lovers, everyone at Basgiath War College has an agenda, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. It's so dramatic, but the books are so dramatic too. I'll start off, obviously, with the first book, Fourth Wing. It was so good. I loved the world building. I loved the characters. I loved the dragons. I loved the college. I loved the professor. I loved everything about it, okay? It was definitely 5 stars, 100%. 5-star read for sure. So many times I was on the edge of my seat. I loved the progression of the romance, I guess, between Violet and Xaden. And that's not really a spoiler, because you know they're gonna get together, like, you know. And even the plot twist at the end, holy moly, was that ever a cliffhanger. Luckily, I had the second book like right at my disposal, so I didn't have to wait too long. But yeah, 5 stars all around. I can see why it became so popular. Now let's dive into book 2, and I'm not obviously gonna give away too many spoilers, so let me just go at it from like a bare bones perspective. It was not as good as book 1, period. And it was long. It was set up in 2 parts, so part 1 and part 2. And by the time I got to the end of part 1, it felt like I had read an entire book. So jumping into part 2, even the beginning of part 2 felt like you were jumping into another book. And for me, I found that too long. A lot of it could have been cut. I also know that there is an intense love for Violet and Xaden, but honestly, they really annoyed me in book 2. It was the same thing over and over and over again, to the point where I started skipping over their scenes because it was just so repetitive. They and their relationship was actually my least favorite part of the book. Actually, one of my favorite parts of book 2 was actually the villain in part 1. He doesn't appear in part 2, but he was in part 1, and man was he good. Really evil, and you hated him, like you hated him to your core. He gave the book some character. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because Violet and Xaden were just the same thing over and over and over again, and I think a lot of that could have been cut. I'm sorry for everyone that loves their relationship. I just could not. I could not with them. But because the actual plot and storyline were pretty great underneath all that, I am gonna give the book a 4 out of 5, solid 4. And then lastly, Onyx Storm. My mind is still reeling, like I said, from the end. I have a similar sentiment to book 3 that I did for book 2. I hated Violet and Xaden in this book. I'm just gonna put that out there. And in book 2, I was starting to dabble with like skipping their scenes, and this book, I was fully on skipping their scenes. I'm sorry, I need a break from your relationship. I know a lot of people are gonna hate that or come at me for that, but it's honestly just how I was feeling. And I actually didn't enjoy the underlying storyline as much in book 3 as I did in book 1 and 2. So please don't come at me, but I'm gonna give book 3 a 3.5 out of 5. It was my least favorite of the series. I'm sorry to say, there were elements of it that were really good, but a lot of it, again, I just felt was too long. I felt it was filler. I would say my favorite part about book 3 were the secondary characters, like the squad. I liked the scenes more when it revolved more around them. And also, actually, for the first time, we got a chapter in this book from one of the secondary characters, like the point of view, because all of the books are through Violet's point of view, except for 1 chapter in book 1 and 1 chapter in book 2 and 1 chapter in book 3 from Xaden's point of view. But we did get 1 secondary character's point of view in this book, and for a moment, I was like, oh my gosh, it is actually nice to take a break from Violet's brain and actually jump into the world of somebody else. But I think overall, I'm gonna give this series a rating, and I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Well, that's it, you guys. This vlog has gone on for way too long, and I need to wrap it up, so we're gonna do that now. And also just a quick thank you. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe we made it. We made it. We've even surpassed it at this point. So I just wanna thank every single one of you, each and every one of you, for subscribing, being so supportive, and just being here, like the people in the comments, the likes, just thank you for everything. I really appreciate all of you. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to get notified as to when I will be posting next. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye!